and you have not done one thing in your other counties. And I should say county and city. No, you've said enough, sir. I'm sorry. You're not learning, and I've got too many things to deal with. So
how can I?
Next, Mr. Patterson.
We can see who they sit down, Judge.
Fair enough.
Mr. Black, Your Honor.
Are you the gentleman I saw last week?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I wasn't going to put you on my docket, but I decided to do that. So let's take up your case. On the record in 2021 TR 1881, State of Kansas versus Ian J.N. Black, Jared Regier for the state. Mr. Patterson, I'd like to hold you over on this. I did revoke the defendant's probation and order him to serve 6 months because in the course of his case, he had not made a single payment, no effort. And he told me that he was unemployed the first 6 weeks or the first 2 weeks of his probation. And then he said he'd been without work the last 3, but he'd been doing other things with his money and not paying on the case. And I believe he had some other issues in other jurisdictions that have incurred, but he's gotten maybe some new convictions since this case. So he was clearly in violation of his probation by what the court determined was willfully failing to pay when he had means, and also new violations. I understand you have court coming up either this week or next. I think it's 1st of May in the city of Topeka, Kansas, and in Shawnee County, Kansas. Am I remembering that all correctly, Mr. Black?
Yes, ma'am.
Their mic doesn't pick up very well at times, Judge. Mr. Black,
Yes.
really speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you also have some kind of civil case pending that you were offering a settlement on, and you
Yes.
needed to talk to your attorney. So what's new since I saw you last?
She told me to call her this Friday, and she would probably hear back from the insurance by Friday.
Okay, and did you talk to your attorneys in your 2 criminal cases?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
For the two traffic cases, I haven't talked to them.
Well, they may be traffic, but they do have criminal charges in them. Why have you not talked to them if you've got court coming up?
I haven't had a chance to. I couldn't get a hold of them, Your Honor.
Did you try?
Your Honor.
What did you do to try?
I tried to call them, Your Honor.
How did you do that?
I called them when I got took, before I got took.
What have you done since I ordered you to jail last week to help yourself?
Tried to come up with some type
Judge,
of.
could I inquire?
All right, go ahead.
Did the court appoint me to represent him?
Well, weren't you his attorney last week?
I was not on the case, I don't believe,
Okay.
last week.
All right, I'm sorry. Then no, you weren't. You had been on his case initially,
Yes, Judge.
and I did let you off the case.
Then it went to pay or appear and my services had ended. I just was
You're right.
inquiring, am I supposed to be on this case today or not?
Well, I'd forgotten that I'd let you off the case.
Okay.
So Mr. Patterson is not appearing for you today. Thank you for helping me clarify that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so what have you done for yourself with these other cases, these other 3 cases since you went to jail last Monday?
The only thing I've done is try to contact my lawyer.
Your civil lawyer.
Yes, I talked to my civil lawyer, Your Honor, but she told me to call her this Friday, and to see whether or not the insurance company had contacted her back yet, because they only have a few more weeks to get back. The 30 days is almost up.
And then if they don't want to settle, then you have to decide if you go to suit. I mean, this could go on and on. I don't know if your attorney, anyway, well, we're not going to go down that path. That's between you and your civil attorney. But if you keep offering it as the be all and end all to your problems, that you're going to settle all your problems in criminal court or traffic court, as you point out, with a civil settlement, then, you know, I'm not going to accept that as any weight, because I know how those things go. And that doesn't mean because you've made a demand on them that that's going to put money in your pocket today, tomorrow, or a year from now. But what I am concerned is what you've done to take accountability in those other jurisdictions. You didn't think to contact your attorney in Topeka or your attorney in the Sedgwick County case, even though you have court next week?
I don't have, and it's not in Sedgwick, it's in Shawnee.
Shawnee, you're right, Shawnee.
But I've been trying to contact them, Your Honor.
You told me you hadn't made any effort since you went in jail. Are you changing that?
No, I said I tried to contact them before I went to the jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not had a chance to get a hold of them yet.
Do they not let you have phone privileges in the jail?
Yes, they do, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. So are you going to just stay in jail and fail to appear without trying to get those hearings heard by Zoom like I suggested?
No, Your Honor, I was going to try to, I was asking the court, well, I was going to ask you today to see if I can get a, put on some type of monthly payment plan.
Sir, you didn't even know I was going to have this hearing. I on my own decided to have this hearing. So you didn't decide you were going to ask today. That's not why you didn't call your attorneys.
Your Honor, I found out yesterday that I was having court today.
Okay, so for 6 days, you sat there and did not call your attorneys. Okay, well, I'm gonna maintain my order. If you had,
Your Honor,
if you had tried to take any responsibility for all these cases you've got, I was
Yes,
gonna
I
give you a break, but you have
I
not.
have.
No, you haven't.
Your Honor, yes, I have. I tried to call my lawyers, but the phone system, how it sets up, like if they don't accept the call, how am I supposed to get a hold of them, Your Honor? They don't do Zoom in Shawnee County. They don't do Zoom for court.
Okay,
not,
how did you find that out? Because you didn't know that last week when we talked.
I know because I went to court for them in Shawnee County, Your Honor. They do. It's all in person.
That is not what you told me last week.
I never told you last week that they do Zoom meetings for Shawnee County.
No, I told you to call and find out.
And I tried
I'm
to
not
call.
arguing with you. I've given you yet one more chance. One more chance.
Your Honor, may I speak, please?
Go ahead.
I'm really asking for your graces here, Your Honor. I really want to try to get my license back. I have plans to try to get my CDL. I really want to pay to try to get my license back. Like I said before, and I have court on the 2nd for Shawnee County. And I'm really trying to work with the courts to try to get my license back. Like that's my main priority right now. And I'm really asking the court today to set me up on a monthly payment plan. Would that be $100 or at least not over $200, Your Honor? I wouldn't be able to afford anything over that per month. But I'm really asking for your grace and to give me one more chance to try to pay this off.
Mr. Regier, when was his sentencing, since I don't have access to my electronic files because of the electric issues?
Your Honor, the misdemeanor journal entry with sentencing looks like that was filed with the court back in November. Looks like the actual hearing date, as set forth in paragraph 1 of the journal entry, was the 24th of October, 2022. So approximately 6 months ago, I suppose.
And I think we'd had about 4 control hearings to give him, or several pro hearings that he kept promising me the same thing, that if I'd give him payment plan, or if I give him more time to pay? Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Your Honor, may I say something? I've never asked for a payment plan.
Well,
I've
but in
never-
essence, but what do you think giving you a time to pay is? If I give you another 60 days, another 90 days, you can pay that in weeks. You can pay that in months. I don't care as long as the total is paid. You self-impose your payment plan. And you haven't paid anything. All right. No, like I said,
I'm just asking the court to give me at least $100 payment plan. I can start it today, Your Honor, and I can get this paid off within at least 60 days, Your Honor. I promise you.
you've been telling that since October 24th. How many, I don't know if anybody has the number of control settings we've had.
I think I got sentenced. I think you said last week I got sentenced in September.
October 24th, and then I went through the list of all the times we've appeared. Sir, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. You have repeatedly told me, and you've never paid $1, you've never paid $0.25. And I thought about it, and I thought I'll give him one more chance. If he's taken responsibility in the other counties, I've gotten his attention, and you have not done one thing in your other counties. And I should say county and city. No, you've said enough, sir. I'm sorry. You're not learning, and I've got too many things to deal with. So
how can I get a hold of my attorneys from in jail, Your Honor? I'm locked up. I don't have any. How am I supposed to? They have a phone that I can't just call straight through. I can't call straight through an attorney, Your Honor.
Well, somehow you managed to get through to your civil attorney and the one that you've got a lawsuit.
Your Honor, I told you I called my civil attorney before they took my phone. Right after I left for court last week, Your Honor. Before they even put me in the cell, they let me call my civil attorney. I just told you that. The officer let me call my civil attorney, and I had her on speakerphone.
Well, maybe
Then right after that, I called my other two attorneys, and they didn't answer the phone.
Well, maybe the officer will let you use the phone to call your criminal attorneys. But I am through. You've exhausted the court's patience and tolerance. I have really tried. I even gave you this one last chance. So, officer, please take him back. Court's adjourned.
Your Honor, can I say one more thing, please?
No, sir, thank you. All right. We'll take up.
So I have to do my whole 6 months, or what? How am I supposed to get this paid?
Well, I've turned it over to civil collections.
How am I supposed to pay that then, Your Honor?
When you get out, they'll take care of it. That's between you and the civil collections at this point. Sir, I have just let you.
I've been trying to.
No, please,
Honor,
take him back.
And Your Honor, before we move on from the issue, could you tell us the next court date one more time, please?
For whom? Mr. Black?
That gentleman, or was that just that was his?
That Mr. Black does not have a future court date. He's serving his sentence. I just had a moment of reconsideration and decided I'd see if he'd taken any accountability in the other counties, and he hasn't. And so he's got issues in 3 courts, if I recall correctly.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand now. Thank you.